the torment inside me, it's not just because of me, it's not just because of the world outside, it's because of some meaning that's been formed around my relationship with the world. A feeling of frustration onto their activity. Their activity is neutral.
Right.
If a goldfish is watching that person, then it won't be frustrated. Or
Right.
if, for my PhD, it was
Yes.
immunology based. So we were looking at white blood cells and how white blood cells have two roles. So one role is to go around like a Pac-Man and eat up bacteria. And the other role is to do some housekeeping in our body. So it gobbles up our dying cells and debris. So we were looking at how do the white blood cells tell the difference between something that's safe, like a healthy cell from inside my body, and something that's a threat, like a harmful bacteria, or something that needs tidying up, like a decaying cell. When a change happens in the environment, the cells have to sense that and send a message to the genes to say, okay, let's dial up something to, I don't know, to help me digest sugar better or help me digest fat better. The environment that we are exposed to has a very powerful effect. There's so many things in influencing our health. It's really important to look at all of them together and how they interact, as well as what's going, the inner workings of the body. Scientific sort of laboratory-based imaging of brains, it'll help us understand some of these techniques like craniosacral therapy, which have been around for a long time, and other yoga-based techniques which try to kind of influence the flow of fluid around the brain.
How is it actually possible that as a scientist we can believe that actually works, or as a therapist you want to give it? And it comes back to something you also describe in your book, the fact that our biology, our body, is loads of loops, feedback systems, which is basically we send out something in the environment and we receive the feedback and adjust.
Redox is an abbreviation of reduction and oxidation. So they're like kind of like the yin and yang of how we understand electrons to move through the body. So reduction is when an electron is gained, and I'm just looking at your animation there.
Right.
So oxidation is when something loses an electron, and reduction is when something gains an electron. So
Okay.
it's it's inside our cells. The electrons are moving around inside the furnace of your cell, which is where a lot of your food is. The energy is liberated from your food, the mitochondria, which people may have heard about, a very popular topic. So we have these redox reactions, huge amounts of those happening in the mitochondrial membrane. And it's necessary really to power the generation of the energy currency inside our cell, known as ATP. So we kind of charge up our cellular batteries by pumping positively charged protons to one side of a membrane, using the electrons to pump that up. If you think of let's say the gurus or the yogis who sat meditating for years on end, by turning their attention inwards, they were noticing these patterns. They were noticing, the illusion of, maybe they'd call it the illusion of the world, because they were saying, actually, what I'm experiencing, the feelings that I'm experiencing, they're not always based on what's happening outside there. They're based on what I create inside. I create these feelings and stories and so on. So that's the illusionary nature of reality. But modern science is proving that Anil Seth calls it a controlled hallucination in his book, Being You. So we have these helpful ways to simulate the world and make useful simulations, but sometimes they have errors. Have been around for thousands of years. New practices that are developing. I think it's an exciting time that there's so many areas of research that are converging together